Right, let's get going on this road.
Again,
It's a warm one. I want to talk to you about videography and my interest in videography, basically, which is basically the art of making films. Well, as you know, I've got a hobby, which is making films and posting them on YouTube. Usually they have a subject matter, which is, it might be a political point, or it might be something that we're just doing at home, or whatever the case is, or it might be just a message I'm sending out to a few friends. Actually, I tend to use video to get those kind of messages across. Point I'm making is, I've obviously, and sorry this camera wobbles around a little bit, but I haven't got it mounted in a perfect location yet. Thing is, as one's progressed and I've got to know more in terms of the art of making video, you know, it's not just simply point the camera, shoot, and speak into the camera lens. It's, you know, there's a lot more to it now than that. But as I've been getting more into it and sort of getting that little bit of extra equipment I think I've required to do certain things, learned more about editing on the editing suite, started working on sound in more detail, started working with lighting effect in more detail, and obviously getting more into storytelling, because obviously you know, that's a critical starting point actually, which, you know, I never really thought about before. But the art of a good video is a good story. You know, it might be just a small story, it might be just a very short 30-second clip of a story, but it's the art of making that story work on video, which is what the skill of videographer is. I mean, videography is relatively new in terms of amateurs doing it these days. I mean, you used to have a hell of a lot of expensive equipment when things were done on film, and you had to really invest a fortune if you wanted to be a freelance cameraman or freelance editor, for that matter, or sound technician. Now you can be everybody. You can do the whole job. You can be the cameraman, you can be the sound man, the lighting man, the editor, the storyteller, the producer, the director, everything in one job by putting it all together. And that's what I'm becoming more and more educated on, if you like, for want of a better word. Now, obviously, I got interested in the art of doing this, well, I suppose over the last 30 years or so. I mean, Paul Tilsley, who is a personal friend of mine, who's been a filmmaker basically for that, you know, for his life, working for CNN and the BBC and Sky, and currently with Fox News as a freelancer, and obviously he makes a lot of promotional video. Now he's based in South Africa, as some of you probably know. And I guess it was through working with him when I was in retail, and employing his skills for communication videos, training videos, marketing videos, whatever videos I wanted to do. And he was obviously brought in to put those together. I mean, in those early days, it was all basically done on the Betamax tapes. I'm talking going back now to the 1980s. And you had to, obviously then, you could only edit in the editing suite. You couldn't do it on your laptop or anything that we have today. You know, there was no form of doing it. There's no MP4 players and things like that. But the actual end results are still the same. Now the difference is a professional person who would get a quality through a lot of hard work and energy and effort. It can now be done by an amateur on a laptop and a camera, even an iPhone. You know, even your camera on your mobile phone, your smartphone. You can make videos and edit them, and obviously then create a YouTube account and have your own YouTube channel. So it's the game has changed quite significantly, but there are very good and there are very bad vloggers out there. Vlogging is all about the message you want to get out there all the time, and videography is all about using your skills and tools effectively to get that story out in the best way. I guess am I a vlogger? Because a vlogger is the person who actually sits in front of the camera telling his story, telling the message. A videographer in my view is the person who has the skills to put the story together, to actually make the story with the cameras and the editing suite and everything else. So I'm a vlogger in as much as I'm the one who sits in and tells the story to the camera. The objective of my being a vlogger is, as I get closer to my retirement age and move on to the Philippines, where I want to set up a YouTube channel there, linking up with the rest of the world in terms of what we're going to be doing over there activity wise. So it's really getting skilled and honed in to be effective and doing that type of work. And obviously, if I can be a film maker as well as the film star, for want of a better word, it will be of great advantage. As it is now, I do most of it myself anyway. I don't have anyone holding cameras for me or doing anything. I handle it all myself. And you will note in my videos, very rarely am I involved with other people in the shop with myself. Occasionally Richie's with me, but Mikey sometimes as well. But usually it is just myself talking into lens. One of the things which is quite extraordinary I've noticed is if you're doing any filming out in public places, even you're just filming yourself walking down the street or whatever the case may be, you don't have to grab attention in the UK. People, they seem to have an objection just being caught in the corner of your camera lens when you're doing something at a personal level. It's very, very difficult to do it. Whereas I've noticed in other countries, in other parts of Europe, and well, probably not every country in Europe, and certainly in the Philippines, everyone's happy for you to be a vlogger. Everyone likes to get in front of the lens, as it were. So it's a different culture there as far as that goes. People encourage you, come in and please come in and video our hotel, come and video our house, come and video our school, whatever the case may be. In this country, you rock up with your video camera at the school concert, you get advised what you can't do with it, and basically by the time you've been given all the rules and regulations, you sort of think, well, hell, is it worth it? Is it worth it? You get suspicious looks from other parents when you walk in with a camera. So you sort of say, well, hang on, I won't bother with that, no more. So yes, that's my take on the on doing videos in this country. In the Philippines, you basically people like it. They like talking on camera. They like you talking with them on camera. They like showing you things that they have, sharing things with you. It might be just eating a sandwich, but whatever. They like to show you, share it with you. And it's a different scenario altogether. No, I'm not saying there aren't any people like that in the UK that that have the same feelings, but I haven't found any yet. I haven't found anybody in the that I can pull up a chair, okay, talk to me about what you want to do. It's just not happened. It doesn't happen. If I do record anybody, it's without them being aware of the fact the camera's there, and then when I've done it and I've told them before it goes on YouTube, they say, "Oh no, please don't do that. I don't want to be on the YouTube," and then you don't do it. And of course, you can't just talk to people and say, "I'm recording you and I'm going to put it on YouTube," unless you have their full permission to do so. And nobody wants to give you permission. So it's a very, very strange scenario. I suppose people, we've got all the data protection laws here, which are obviously very strict, and it becomes very difficult. Sorry, I'm hesitant because there's a white van backing up here. I just want to make sure he doesn't back into me. Okay.